you like that idea with the what we're watching kind of thing to kind of kick it off?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm watching is Bo Nix broke his ankle. Did you see that?
Man.
So he's out for the rest of the NFL playoffs. Crazy.
What's
like,
so crazy
I
how
can't
it
ever
happened?
think of another time that's happened where the quarterback of a team on the second to last play that he's in gets hurt and can't play the rest of the time.
Well, how many times, and I always wonder about this, like when you're about to down a ball and the defense comes in, like it wasn't anything aggressive, but how he came in and just kind of like touched him. And then that made him fall over and whatever happened, break his ankle. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I heard on the radio they were saying, why don't they just hand off the ball? Like, why are you having your... But, I mean, this... quarterbacks don't usually get hurt. I mean, 99% of the time they don't get hurt. So that's just crazy. That's just such horrible luck. And I feel pretty bad for them. I think see how Jarrett Stidham can do instead. Now, just a few hours ago, the Lions hired Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing to be their offense. Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Yep.
Breaking news. All right.
Yeah. He was been their offensive coordinator for 2 years, like 3 years.
Cardinals.
23 to 25. Yeah, it's so funny. Like I've seen 2 NFL teams play in person. When we went to the Bengals Cardinals game, and the Cardinals were horrible. So we're getting that offensive coordinator, although half the team was hurt and everything else. But they've
been bad for a while.
Yeah, so we got that offensive coordinator.
I'm like, he wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even know his name.
I never heard of him. No.
He was like Mike McDaniel.
I guess he stood up in Ben Johnson's wedding. So he knows Ben Johnson.
Okay. Well, that got him the job. Like,
that helped. So he's a Ben Johnson guy. He knows him. So
I have to admit, I thought that Ben Johnson was like overhyped. I did not think that he was going to go and have the season he had.
That's insane that he's doing so good in Chicago. That was probably the most amazing play I've seen this year at the end of the game when they need a first down, I think, or whatever, and he goes back and he's just getting chased and he runs back all the way to the 40-yard line, turns around and throws it, and I'm like, and I thought, that's going to be incomplete, and then boom, Cole Kmet comes down with it in the end zone. Unbelievable. Like, why? That's one thing I've never understood, and I think about this all the time, and there's got to be a reason, but there's so often these receivers are just open. There's a guy standing like 6 feet next to him.
Yeah.
Why not stand where that guy is? Because he's standing there, and sometimes they're moving a little bit, but there's got to be a reason. And I'm not talking about getting burned. Yeah, people get burned, and I understand that. But what I don't understand is these guys who do a curl route, they run out and they turn around, and they're ready for the ball, and then there's a linebacker 6 feet over to their left.
Yeah.
Why isn't the linebacker like there, like where he is?
Yeah.
I've never understood.
That's where the ball's going.
Yeah. That's one thing that's always like befuddling me. I get it if you like juke somebody out and you can't stick with him because the guy's quick and fast and all that stuff. But how about be where the guy is? Just stand there. So then he's not open, and then they won't throw it to him, and then you'll have success. There's got to be a reason, but have I mentioned that?
There's got to be a reason.
There's somebody out there that knows. Who played football before knows. I don't know. Not me. I don't get it. That seems so obvious. Stand where he is.
Why don't you just go stand where he's at?
Yeah, get in his way. Well, like in basketball.
Yeah.
In basketball, you guard the guy you get in his way so you can't get the ball. Sometimes they're open a little bit, but you're doing that. Whatever, that's a little bit different because he can get the ball and it's not like a big problem. But in football, if your guy gets it, that's a problem. It's like a bigger problem. So don't let him get it.
Mike Piazza was like you'd have to look it up and see what round he was drafted, but he was drafted by the Dodgers, just like a favor for a friend to say that he was drafted in baseball, then obviously end up becoming a Hall of Famer.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that.
All right. Mike Piazza is the lowest drafted player to enter the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh.
He was drafted 1,390th overall in the 62nd round of the 1988 draft.
I didn't know there was that many rounds. Is there that many rounds now?
Yeah, there's a lot of rounds. I don't know if there's 62.
Well, okay, so for baseball, I understand because they have to fill all those minor league.
Well, and you can draft amateurs. You can draft high school players. There's a much more. there's a bigger database of baseball players. And that one is one where you see like the Tigers drafted Justin Verlander's brother at some point. You see like siblings getting drafted.
Al Kaline's grandson.
Yeah, Kirk Gibson's son.
Right,
which I thought he might turn out good.
Oh yeah.
He had a good career at Michigan State.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Cam Gibson.
Cam Gibson. I know Cody Clemens.
Cody Clemens.
He played for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think he's like getting playing time now.
He was in the playoffs deep in the, was he with the Cubs or somebody, I think. Yeah, so that's the stuff I'm watching.
I've been watching a lot of the Pistons. It's really been the only thing on with the Lions being out. You know what? And you know this because I was texting you because I was kind of nerding out because I'm second degree connected to Kate Cunningham, as far as the basketball court goes. So I've been watching the G League team, the Motor City Cruise, just because Ray Williams Jr., who I've played pickup ball with the last few years, is on the team. So that's really cool. I've watching him last week. You get to play. He was on the court. He was literally on the court with Chaz Lanier, who's on the Pistons, and Bobby Klintman, and Tulu Smith, and then Jaden Akins from Michigan State, of course. Who is this Jaden Akins? Like, if Jaden Akins played like he's playing in the pros at Michigan State, our team would have been totally different.
So he's playing good?
He's averaging like 20 points a game in the G League.
Wow. Okay, so Ray Williams is in the Motor City Cruise. Where do they play?
They play at Wayne State,
which is where he went to school.
Which is where he went to school, so he gets a little home.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Do you know who the head coach of the Detroit Cruise, Motor City Cruise, is?
Oh, geez.
My cousin.
Is it Baker? His last name's Baker.
DJ Baker with 2 Ks.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I can see his face because I've been watching him the last few days. They're on FanDuel now. When the Pistons aren't on, they'll be on. And then just because Ray's playing, it's cool watching somebody that I've literally blocked Ray's shot, So that's pretty cool. Or stole the ball. Again, he's a good basketball player, but it's fun when you can play somebody that is playing against pro players. So
yeah, so now some of those players from the Cruise have played on the Pistons. And so you were saying that you are sort of...
Yeah, if anybody knows the 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon theory, if you look at it, like Kevin Bacon's played in so many movies that you can look at any famous person. Like if you looked up Elvis Presley, for example, Elvis is second degree connected to Kevin Bacon because he played in a movie with some lady that played in a movie with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And so like I was nerding out because it's like, oh man, I'm so close to the pros, like look at this guy. And he was like on the court with Tulu, who just played for the Pistons the night before. Tulu Smith, he had 15 points, 9 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 block shots. He had a block shot on James Harden. And then the next night was playing with Ray from down the street. That's
Why did he go to your basketball?
So he knows a couple guys that play with me, and they invited him to come out, and so he's been playing with us for about 4 years. I think he just goes and plays some pickup ball. And his dad always comes. Ray Williams Sr., his dad drives him and like watches his games. And super nice. Like his dad's Coach Jackson, my son, a couple times. Like he's watched him play and then come over and like given him some tips and worked with them and stuff like that. So super nice guys, both Ray and his dad. And then his cousin Raphael, who plays for some school down south, comes too. But Ray,
like in college,
yeah. East Carolina or East Coastal Carolina or something like that. Nice. He plays, but Ray was way better. Ray's a good defensive player. He's solid. Like he came in the game, it was cool. He like right out of the gates, he stole the ball at half court and went in. It got fouled. He got
the Cruise game.
Yeah, in the Cruise game.
Nice.
So it's cool. It's cool. I love being 46. And still being able to play ball and then getting a chance to play with some guys that are good, and then you see them on TV. That's pretty neat.
It is. All right, so what are we talking about today?
Oh yeah, so what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You mentioned something that you
oddities and coincidences in sports.
I love it.
Yeah, because I like finding out things that aren't really talked about or sort of are unusual about whatever setting I'm in. Like if I'm with talking to somebody, I like to find out like something unusual or strange about them, or that people don't usually talk about or think about. Like if I go to a city, I like to find something unusual or strange about a city. We were talking about Los Angeles earlier. It's a perfect example. You go to Los Angeles, there's everybody talks about Los Angeles a ton because it's a huge city, the entertainment industry and all that, but no one ever talks about different things. So I was when I went there, I was like, okay, I'm going to find out something. What am I going to experience that no one really talks about? And what I found out was nobody's ever on a boat. There's hardly ever. You go to a beach. There are like if you go to Lake Michigan and Grand Haven, there's a million boats everywhere, and people are out doing this and that.
Yeah.
LA, there's no boat. You look around. There's a couple out of the millions. 10 million people live there. You look around, there's nobody really on a boat. There's not really too many boaters in LA. It's very strange. That's the one thing that struck me about LA.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
I picture people on boats
Yeah,
there.
there's not. No, I don't know what they do. So that's what I like. It's kind of bizarre things that people don't really talk about that I notice that are true, but they don't really get noticed very much by other people.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that with sports. What could there be? What are some things? So, you got some good ones that off the top of your
Well,
head?
I think of just like a couple of guys. Like I'm trying to think of the pitcher for the Royals. Oh man, I could see his face. Granky.
Sure.
Have you ever seen his interviews?
He's a weird guy.
Yeah, really weird guy. It's funny. He's almost like a kind of psycho.
Yeah, he's bizarre. Yeah, the Grinky's an oddity for sure. Yeah, the way he responds and just you never know what he's gonna. And he's been around. Is he still pitching? He's been pitching for a long. I remember when he was real young pitching.
Yeah.
He's one of the first guys I remember that had like a flat bill in his. I don't know.
It was before it was cool for sure. He was just wearing the flat bill because he pulled it out of the box.
In Grinky style.
Grinky
Very
style.
weird.
Man, you can sit and watch interviews with him. And same thing, Kawhi Leonard's that same exact way.
Okay, I don't know about that. Okay.
Oh man. If you listen to some Kawhi Leonard stuff, first off, his laugh is just absolutely
Really?
hilarious.
Okay. We might have to have Jamie pull that up on the on our screen.
Jamie up on the screen.
Jamie, pull that up on the screen.
Leonard. Oh my god, I look up Kawhi and start putting, and I even spelled Kawhi wrong. I spelled it Kawki, and I put LEA, and it pops up Kawhi Leonard laugh.
Oh, that weird. Oh, you got to play it.
I mean, it's just more questions you have to ask me in order for me to tell you about myself. Just can't give you a whole spiel. I don't even know where you're sitting at, but
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's not what I expected. It's like that is a weird laugh. I remember when he was at San Diego State, everyone was talking about how great he was going to be.
Top 5 Kawhi Leonard.
What do you think this will mean for Canada and the Toronto Raptors? You've already won with the San Antonio Spurs. You've seen the way it impacted that community. What do you think this will do for Canada?
really not sure. I guess you really have to ask somebody on the street or one of our fans. So,
Where do you go from here, Kawhi? Where do you go from here?
going to Toronto, Game 3.
Kawhi Leonard!
Hey. I'm a fun guy.
Respect.
Let's see, I love the game of basketball.
I don't know. I guess you're gonna have to ask
Kawhi's
them on the
an odd.
street.
Odd character.
There's this podcast, these basketball players. I think Lou Williams is one of them, and they're
Sure.
talking about like, what's the weirdest moment you've had with Kawhi, or what's the funny moment? And they're like, there's this moment, and it was like at the end of the game, and coach was like, we're gonna play some offense for defense. So like, after you get the rebound, call the timeout, and we got to take him out and put him in because he's, and he's like, Kawhi Leonard's like, why, coach? why we gotta do that? Why we gotta put him in to switch him out? And he's like, because he can't play defense. And he's like, well, then why is he even in the game? Like, if he can't play defense, then why is he even playing?
Right. Yeah.
Like, just calling it out. But he's like, so like, you know,
Like almost like
he's a lot like Granky, where he's just like
serious.
Yeah.
About it. Yeah. So then there's like other odd things that have to do with the performance of players and their numbers that they put up. Like, here's an example. Don Mattingly. You know how many Grand Slams he had in his career?
No.
6. Which, okay, that's kind of a lot, whatever. It's not, I mean, he played for 14 years. He had them all in the same year. His first 5 years, he didn't have any Grand Slams. Then he had, in 1987, he had 6 Grand Slams. Then he went the rest of his career, those 9 years or whatever, and didn't have any.
No, that's
Isn't
an
that weird?
oddity. When you say 6 across 14 seasons, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, that's probably not. That's not even really that much. But you
Yeah.
did 6 in one season.
Yeah. And then 0 in the rest of them. That's kind of weird.
That is weird.
Then there's stats about like, or oddities that are like, how good somebody is. This guy's so good. It's freaking crazy. Like Tony Gwynn could have gone 0 for 1,182 and still had a career batting average over 1,000. He could go 0 for 1,200 almost, and his batting average would still be 300 after, at the end of his career. That's how
Tony
good he
Gwynn
was.
is a bunch of crazy stats.
Yeah. That's the main, him and Greg Maddux. There's some really hilarious, like just shocking stats that they put up. Like Greg Maddux, here's one with both of them. Greg Maddux faced Tony Gwynn 107 times, and he never struck him out, ever.
Wow.
107, he never struck him out. And Greg Maddux was he wasn't a big strikeout, but he struck out lots of guys. Never Tony Gwynn, who he probably faced more than
He had a
anybody
415 average against Greg Maddux. That's crazy.
Yeah.
In 107 at bats.
Here's another Greg Maddux one. Greg Maddux faced 20,421 batters during his career. He only went a 3-0 count to 310 of them.
Wow.
1.5%. And guess what? Even more surprising, 177 of those 310 were intentional walks. So if you throw those out, he only went 3-0 to one out of every 150 to every 154th batter that he faced.
Wow.
He didn't go 3-0.
He-
That was not in his repertoire. Yeah. So Maddux. Okay, here's one more Maddux. So if you don't count the batters that are intentionally walked, Greg Maddux faced. Okay. So now, like in the meat of his career, like the 9 years of his best pitching, he faced 8,025 batters. Out of those 8,025 batters that he faced, he threw 8,006 balls. So he faced more batters than he threw balls to.
That's crazy.
So less than a ball a batter.
So here's the crazy stat. I was trying to figure out which just one for Tony Gwynn.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Gwynn also played college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
In his 4-year college basketball
Yeah.
career, he had more basketball points than he had had strikeouts in his whole entire major league career.
Oh my God.
He had 590 points that he scored in his 4-year college career in his career in baseball, which is how many years?
21 played like
21 years.
yeah.
He only struck out 434 times.
A lot of people do that in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like a lot. No,
I think Riley Green did it in 1.
no, but it's close. Like especially this year. Holy smokes, he struck out a lot.
He struck out so much.
Willie Mays, he played for 23 years. He made 24 All-Star games in 23 years. He was in more All-Star games than seasons because there was a couple of years where they did 2 All-Star games. There's in the early 60s, for some reason, they did 2 All-Star games. So
I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't remember, but there's a couple years in the early 60s where they played 2 All-Star games and he made 2 All-Star games one year, and then he made every single year he played, he made the All-Star team, I think. He might have missed 1 or 2 and then was in 2 in a couple years. You know what I'm saying? But like 90% of the time he was on the All-Star team, which is crazy. Nobody does that.
Easy.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Here's another fun one. Chris Davis of the Milwaukee Brewers. He batted .247. It's kind of a normal batting average, whatever.
Yeah.
He did that 4 straight years. He batted exactly .247.
That is an anomaly. That is crazy.
Yeah, I like that one. Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this is a kind of a new one, and his percentage might have went down now, but Jackson Kohler, maybe the first college basketball player ever, and this is insane. You would think this would have happened at some point. Might be the first college basketball player ever to finish a season with averaging 10 points, 10 rebounds, and shooting 50% from 3.
Wow. Yeah, 50% from 3. That knocks out a lot of people.
It does. Yeah.
Is he still up there in the 50% range?
He went 0 for 5 2 days
okay.
ago, so I don't know if that dropped him down or
He
not.
could still do it. They were saying, who was it on State's team had like a super high, was it Fears maybe? Had a really high free throw percentage, like 9, like I don't think it is anymore, but for a long time at the beginning of the year, he was like in the 96 or something like that, like, which is a big difference than like 92 or 3. If you get up in like over 95, that means like you're just not missing.
You're not missing.
No, you're missing 1 out of every 20 shots.
Until the commentator comes on and says he never misses, and then
yeah, that seems to do it. Yeah. How about from 1992 to 1925? Here's another Tony Gwynn one because I like Tony Gwynn. I've always liked Tony Gwynn. From 92 to 95, he had more runs scored. He scored more runs than he had swings and misses. He got all the way around the bases more often than he just swung and missed.
wow.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn. What is that? He didn't even look like a great athlete,
No,
you know?
he was. No. You watched the 84 highlights against the Tigers. He was he put on a few LBs after that.
He did.
But it was a lot in fairness, that was a long time. I mean, that was real. He started in 82, I think, so that was like his 3rd year. Towards the end he was, but I'd take him over anybody. And plus he was a great guy. He coached baseball, I think, like at somewhere like in college after. Like he didn't need to coach baseball anymore.
Did he die of cancer?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure that's what it was. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tony Gwynn, great guy, and then even a great player too. So then I was looking at some other sports. Wayne Gretzky is another one that is just unfathomable what he did. He has more assists this is amazing. He has more assists in the NHL than anyone else has points, which is goals and assists. So no one else can take their goals and assists, add them together, and have more points than Wayne Gretzky just has assists.
Wow. Wow.
That's a lot of assists.
That's a lot of assists.
Like way more than everybody else. Yeah. He averaged almost 2 points a game. It's incredible. 1.92 points a game.
Where's he on the goal scoring list?
Oh, that's a good question. He's probably number 1. Ovechkin's up there. Mario Lemieux's up there on points. That's a good question. I didn't look that up. I was just looking points in general. What'd you find?
All-time points leaders. Gretzky is number 1 all-time points, obviously.
Let's see.
Goals. Yeah, Ovechkin.
Ovechkin's 1 in goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's played like way. If you look at how many games they've played, I think Ovechkin's played way more games than Gretzky did, if I'm not mistaken.
And he really hasn't. He has 917, and Gretzky has. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Games played. Ovechkin's played 1540 to Gretzky's 1487.
Okay, so not a lot more, but more.
Ovechkin has 917 goals, and Gretzky at 894.
Yeah, goals.
Gordie Howe is this third.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it too. So Ovechkin's got the most, but only very recently he did it. I mean, he's only 23 more 23 more goals than Gretzky. But look at the assist difference. Gretzky has 1,963 assists. Ovechkin only has 747. That's
wild.
Yeah.
Looking at the points.
So
yeah, Gretzky's almost 1,000 points over Jaromir Jagr.
Gretzky has 700 more assists, over 700 more assists than the next best. 700.
700.
Ron Francis has second with 1249. And they're all these guys are Canadian. All but one
I see all of them
on this list are, except for Ovechkin and Brett Hull. Everybody's Canadian.
Brett Hall's the as far as American goes, Brett Hall's the greatest American ever.
Yeah, in terms of offense. Yeah. What is this?
Wow. Really hardly any Americans. Phil Housley, Patrick Kane, Mike McDonough.
They didn't used to keep they didn't used to keep track of time on the ice, I guess, because like those guys aren't even high on that. I don't know, maybe that's per game. Oh, that's per game. That's a cool. I've never really looked at hockey stats that much, and this is a cool quanthockey.com. That's a cool website. It's got everything. I think I could get into hockey stats because hockey's weird. It's just like, I don't know. To me, I'm probably get people be mad, but like it seems very like random. Like of all the sports, it seems like in the NHL the upset, like an 8 will beat a 1 a lot of times in the playoffs.
Yes,
and it seems like there's a lot of upsets because a lot of weird crap can happen, and of course,
you get a hot goalie
stand on their head. They always say,
yeah. When you get that hot goalie,
So hockey's.
Hockey, I think, is the sport where an 8 and a 1 could like it's more common.
Yeah, more than anything.
Basketball, like you have an 8 and a 1. That 8 really usually doesn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Or you look at it in NCAA, 16-1.
It's only happened once, and it went for a million years, and it wasn't. And then Maryland, Baltimore County beat Virginia, and they creamed them.
Yes.
I remember watching. Like I didn't watch the whole thing, but can you kind of pick it up at the end? Or like, I kind of want to go back and watch it. Like, how's that even possible? And it wasn't even close. Like Virginia just was not ready.
You look at, I can't think of what happened in that game. I think it was, but it's usually a hot 3-point shooter. Like you look at Michigan State when the year Denzel Valentine played, and they hit that guy that just couldn't miss.
Remember what team it was for?
I
don't.
Who was the team that knocked out Denzel Valentine's Michigan State Spartans?
Lost by 20.
Middle Tennessee.
Oh, Middle Tennessee State. I remember where I was listening to that game. Yeah, it was a little guard, I think. I was listening to it on the radio because I was working that day. Yeah, I remember that. It was
Middle Tennessee, and then they just recently, there was a couple years ago too, there was a smaller school, and I can't think of who it was, and it was a point guard. He was literally like 5'8", and I remember before the game, they're like, "Who's gonna guard this guy?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, he's only 5'8". Like anybody on our team can guard him. And Jackson, my son, like every time I say something sports wise, he's like, "Dude, you're gonna jinx him." I can't believe you said that. Like he's all mad at me. And then that guy just went off
on State.
It went off on State. There was 1-3 that he ended up throwing underhand. Like it was time running out, and he just threw it underhand, and it went straight up in the air and came straight down.
Was that in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, first round. It was a couple years ago.
I'm looking at this Maryland Baltimore County game against Virginia. I don't even know why Virginia. This team has to be one of the worst 1 seeds. They probably deserved it. And, well, they were 31-3. I remember they had somebody named Kyle Guy who was supposed to be good.
Kyle Guy. Yeah.
And he actually played okay. He went 7 for 11. Did they have a lot of turnovers? No way. Virginia only had 7 turnovers in that game, and they lost by 20 to a 16 seed. Yeah. Maryland, Baltimore County had 10. Virginia only had 7 turnovers.
Wow.
They didn't shoot. They shot sort of below average, 4-11 from the field. Virginia did. Free throws, 500. They did not shoot good. They only went to the line 8 times. That's the big problem. You got to get to the line. So anyway, that was that. Now that's a good oddity right there. Is a 16 beating a 1.
Oh yeah.
And then I like looking at here's a good example of what I was talking about. Like people you hear of or people, but then digging in and finding something unique or kind of interesting about the person in real life when you meet them, or somebody who's sort of famous or whatever. Like George Blanda is hilarious to me. George Blanda played forever. He played until he was 48 years old in the NFL. He was a quarterback. He was a kicker. But his stats are so bad. And it's because back then you could be as crappy as you want, as you can be, and they wouldn't change, they wouldn't fire you and bring somebody else in. They just rode with you for some reason.
But that wasn't a lot of options, and they weren't making a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. So they just wrote, like George Blanda, and I saw like what brought me to this. I knew that he had bad stats, but I didn't realize it was this bad. He threw in 1962 for the Houston Oilers, which is part of the AFL, which is like before the NFL, before they merged with the NFL, I think. He threw 42 interceptions. But his team went 11-3.
Wow.
Because the other teams
were just as bad.
Had so many turnovers too. There used to be just like this weekend there were a lot of turnovers, but that was kind of an anomaly. There were turnovers all the time. There were games where they'd have 9 turnovers. Like one team would have 9, the other team would have 5. Stuff like that.
Hence why they didn't throw it, because they couldn't. Yeah,
they were. This is just amazing, all the turnovers, the interceptions. He threw 42 interceptions one year, and guess what? He came back and he was the quarterback for like 2 more years after that.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if a guy threw 40? He wouldn't make it to 42 interceptions. Like, there's no one in modern history that would make it to 42 interceptions and still be playing.
No, and there's it's just up and down the NFL. It's just a million fumbles. All the running backs had a bunch of fumbles. All the quarterbacks had a bunch of. There's a few of them that were really good. Like if you look up like the really good ones, like Fran Tarkenton and stuff, they didn't have as many interceptions. Like the really good quarterbacks back in the 50s and 60s, they didn't have as many. But and then the kickers were horrible, even though the goalpost was up at the goal line. It wasn't back where it is now. It was up at the goal line. So all the kicks were 10 yards shorter. Like if you're kicking from the 30, like if the ball's on the 30, your field goal is only 37 yards. You just go back 7 yards from where the ball is snapped instead of being 47 yards like it is now. And these kickers were so bad. It's because they didn't practice like they do now. They had other jobs and stuff. So, and everybody was bad. So they just sort of, so the NFL football has some of the most hilarious stats. Like the guy who has the most interceptions in NFL history is from Burton. Right?
Is he really?
Burton Bendel High School. Yeah.
Who is it?
His name's Paul Krause.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Burton Bendel.
Yeah.
And this was like probably
tiny
the 60s?
little. Yeah, I think he went to Iowa for college. But yeah, isn't that? And that'll never be broken. He'll always be the interception leader.
How many does he have?
I don't know, but
it's like 22 or something. It's something crazy.
No, for his whole career.
Oh, for his whole career.
Like a lot. He might have it for the single season, but yeah, he's just so happened to be playing early and was a decent defensive back and played a long time, didn't get hurt. That's another big thing about football is having good stats to just get lucky and not get hurt.
That's an anomaly all in itself. Like is whether you can make it through. Emmitt Smith.
Mm-hmm. Like he wasn't the best, but he has the most yards because he just didn't get hurt.
Yep. He was consistent. He played all the time.
Stuck around.
He didn't retire.
Walter Payton. Walter Payton was better than Emmitt Smith, but he was another guy who just stuck around and kept playing, and got all these yards. Just didn't get hurt.
You got like Clinton Portis is a guy who's like in the top. I think he's top 10 rushing, and he was never a guy that was spectacular. He just like stuck around.
John Jansen on 97.1. Ask him about Clinton Portis.
Really?
He hates Clinton Portis because they were teammates at the Redskins. I don't remember the details, but yeah, it's pretty funny. John, like whenever anybody brings up, like he never really comes up, but whenever his name comes up, they all just sort of chuckle because they know John Jansen hates his guts. I can't remember why. Well, you know, there's going to be those personality conflicts because you're together so much.
Oh yeah.
So
Frank Gore. I said Clinton Portis, but I meant Frank Gore.
yeah.
Frank Gore is the number 3 rusher of all time.
Yeah, I know. That's a good
He's
example.
ahead of Barry Sanders. He's ahead of Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jerome Bettis.
Adrian Peterson, I thought he was one of the best running backs.
He was one of the best. He
was
never
so
got hurt.
Strong and big and fast. Just bull. When he was with the Lions, I loved that, and I just thought it was toward the end of his career. It wasn't as good, but still, that was like fun. He was still Adrian Peterson.
He was still. And I always forget he was with the Lions. It's so funny. He had a good year.
Yeah, he was on a bad team.
Bad team.
But the thing about him is he was always good. I remember when he was like out of high school, everyone was like, "This is the best." He was just one of those guys that was always. He didn't sneak up on anybody. He was always good, even as like he was like a 5-star and then like the best running back. You know, always the best all the way through. Which I don't know. That's kind of cool.
I think an anomaly looking at this list is like the top 25 rushers of all time. Ricky Waters is the number 25 rusher of all time.
Ricky Waters from Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Where did he go play with the Eagles, or where did he play?
Oh, geez, where is he at?
Ricky Waters.
I want to say he was with the Eagles for a little bit, but that wasn't where he first was at.
Ricky Waters, where did he go? I just remember him at Notre Dame.
I do too.
And Waters with 2 T's.
2 T's. 2 T's.
Yeah, he was with the Eagles.
Yep. And he was drafted by the Seahawks.
Okay. Yeah, he bounced around. Yep.
But again, yeah, he bounced around. He wasn't.
5, 6.
I don't know if he was ever an All-Pro.
Yeah, he didn't get hurt.
He just didn't get hurt.
Look at that. He played 16 games, all but like 2 years. And one was his last year where he probably just retired.
I mean, that's an oddity in itself in the NFL. If you can just stay healthy.
Cameron Jordan. You know who Cam Jordan is?
Yeah.
He hasn't missed a game in like 15 years or something.
Wow, that's an oddity.
Yeah. He's played since 2011. So he's played for 15 years. And he's never missed a game. Never. Not one.
How do you do that in the NFL? That's like Bruce Willis and Unbreakable. Like, how do you?
No one's even close to that.
No.
I don't think. Yeah. And it's not like he's a special teams guy. There's some special teams guys that have these kind of things, but this guy plays.
If you're
like
a long
bunch of
snapper,
snaps.
you can probably make a whole career. Don Malbach, for the Lions. He had a great career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Don Mool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Cam Jordan. I forgot about this, but yeah, he just doesn't get hurt. I mean, how's that even possible?
Like in a day of like, we don't see player streaks in any sport these days. Like players sit. You see the load management and all that kind of stuff. So to do that in a sport like football is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been with the Saints the whole time. He's been with a lot of bad teams. Yeah, he's been. Did you know that there's a guy from Pinckney that's on the one of the best players for the Dolphins is from Pinckney?
No,
Zach Sealer.
What position?
Zach, like defensive end.
Okay.
It's just like, how is this happening?
Did he go to Pinckney?
He was born in Howell. I didn't know that. He was born in Howell. He went to Pinckney High School.
What?
And now he is in his 8th year. He's with the Dolphins now. Yeah, he has 35 and a half sacks. Yeah, he started every game from this year.
That's
crazy?
Great. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
He went to Ferris.
Wow.
He's probably the best ever,
best ever Ferris State player?
By far. Yeah.
Best ever Pinckney player for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only a couple guys that have had any sort of career from Ferris. Only 2 guys have ever been drafted that went to Ferris State.
Oh, that's not going to change though.
Yeah.
You see
Trinidad Chambliss?
Yeah. And then maybe Wyatt Bauer.
Oh,
You know, we'll see. It's really cool. You know, you look at college football and how it's changed, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't like. But then there's like some cool stuff where I think there's more opportunity for those D2 guys, D3 guys. They have second chances, third chances that schools are starting to look at these guys and be like, okay, if they can perform here, plug them into a D1 scholarship, and then they get their NIL money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
true.
you're seeing it happen way more than ever before. I mean, before you couldn't transfer like we can now, but you're seeing a lot of guys like Michigan State just rebuilt their team off of these smaller schools, like taking their best players.
Are you talking about this, Jonathan? You're talking about the Fitzgerald kids coming in, or are you talking about?
Yeah, Fitzgerald. Yeah, he's had to recruit a whole new team. You see that wave in college football. Like, you know, if a kid's not happy, he's leaving.
So Fitzgerald's bringing in a lot of D2 guys.
I've seen a few,
Okay.
not even just D2, but you
Just
see
like
smaller D1 schools. I think there's a Middle Tennessee State guy, a linebacker from Middle Tennessee State. There's some smaller, and then they got the Michigan wide receiver and a couple other bigger schools.
A guy who went from Michigan to Michigan State.
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Who?
Yeah. His
That's
name's like Freddie
crazy.
something.
Nobody does that. Man, that's wild. I can't think of anybody who's ever done that. Went from Michigan to Michigan State, or from Michigan State to Michigan.
Oh, geez, Van Summerin.
Huh.
Alex
Oh,
Van Summerin just recently did it.
oh yeah. He was one of their best defensive players. I didn't know he went to Michigan.
Frederick Moore.
Oh, is that who you're talking about?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Frederick Moore. I don't know who that
But then
is.
it was like a trade. So we got the receiver, and then Michigan got our linebacker, Asaya Moa, M-O-A. I've never heard of him, but
Wow, it wasn't like an official trade. It was just sort of like
no.
like, well,
That would be
stuff's
funny. It's
changing
not
so
It's
much
changing so much.
in college. So
It's not out of the realm.
yeah, I know. All right, I got to talk with George Blanda somewhere. This guy is just hilarious to me. He retired at age 31 in 1958. Okay, so he's retired 31. Okay, whatever. But then he came. But he only took 1 year off. He couldn't stay away, and he came back and played 16 more years until he was 48 years old. He played when he was 48. He's older than me. I'm only 47 and a half.
As of today.
Let's see here. He was one of three. Oh yeah. So when he was 48, he dropped back to pass 3 times, completed 1 pass, and had, of course, an interception, which was his specialty, throwing interceptions. He only made 9 of 24 field goals in 1963. 9 of 24.
24.
And guess what? He threw 25 interceptions. So he missed 15 field goals. He threw 25 interceptions, and he was an all-pro. An all-pro. He didn't make the Pro Bowl. He was an all-pro, which means you were the best quarterback. Like, they pick one out of the whole league, and he was that one. Probably one AFL and one NFL. But, yeah, he was...
Could you imagine George Blanda strapping up the uniform? Like, just playing in today's game.
Yeah,
Not old or dead George Blanda, obviously, but George Blanda at 28
horrible
in his prime.
He
He probably looked like he was 48.
God, yeah.
He couldn't stay away
My thing about him is that they didn't get rid of him. They just kept trotting him out there.
to the point where they asked him to come back at some point after he retired.
It's true. George, we need your 42 interceptions again. It's crazy.
The guy we had this year threw 62. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. No, I think that's a record. I think 42 is, or whatever I said, 42.
What's the interception record in the NFL for a quarterback?
42, come on. It's got to be 42.
Okay, so career Brett Favre has 336 interceptions.
But for a season, it's got to be 42. How could it be? And you know what? That wasn't even the NFL. That was the AFL, so I might not count that. But for pro football, how could it be more than that?
42, George Blanda.
Yeah.
Look at him, his smiling face.
My God.
1962 for the Houston Oilers.
That's what I said.
A number considered almost unbreakable in today's game where interceptions are far less frequent.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, who do you think is the modern quarterback who holds the modern day record?
Well, when does modern day start?
Well, okay, let's say since 2000.
Who's had the most interceptions since 2000?
in a single season.
Oh, in a single season. Zach Wilson had a lot that way. It seemed like that's where my head goes right away.
Zach Wilson is just intercepting moms. It's
probably somebody who threw more than that.
He's probably the most entertaining quarterback of all
Winston?
time.
Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston. This is not who I am. This is not who I am.
Eating W's.
Eating W's. That guy's got a career in broadcasting as soon as he's done. He's hilarious. That's another guy I could just sit and watch clips of all day, just like his motivational speeches.
Yeah, he had that good play against the Lions this year where they did the flea flicker or whatever, and he threw it and they got it. It was like, I think it was in their first drive. It's like, oh my God, Jameis Winston's gonna beat us.
He did beat us.
Oh, did they win? Yeah, the Giants win that game?
If we would have beat the Giants, we would have beat the playoffs. You look at any one of those games, like the Giants was a game that we should have won. They didn't even have Jackson Dart or Cam Scatterboo. They had
everybody was hurt. It's like, okay. On September 21st, 1969, rookie punter Steve Neal of the New York Jets kicked a 98-yard punt. 98 yards.
Wow.
It's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's amazing. He's starting from his own end zone, and he kicks it and ends up going to the 1 or 2 yard line. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Try to beat that.
That's the record, 98.
Oh yeah. It's gotta be. Yeah. Oh, I got another good one. Speaking of weird people. Another weird guy who I sort of met once was Jim Harbaugh.
Oh yeah.
Jim Harbaugh has more career rushing yards than Bo Jackson.
What?
Yeah, that would surprise me too. I'm like, I had to triple check that one. That's true.
Yep. Wow.
Now that might not take into consideration sack. Yeah, I can't remember how they do that, but it might not take into consideration sack yards. I don't know if you subtract that, but yeah, just if you look up how many rushing yards Jim Harbaugh has, it's 2787. If you look up how many rushing yards Bo Jackson has, it's
2782. They literally, if you look up Jim Harbaugh's rushing yards, it literally tells you that stat about the Bo Jackson thing. That's really funny.
Isn't that a good one?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow, you would never think that.
Here's one for
an injury.
Yeah, he only played a handful of years. The Jets did not this year. Here's a new one. The Jets didn't have an interception this year. Not one. George Blanda was not playing.
George Blanda was not the quarterback that played against them at all.
Nope.
Is George Blanda dead? Is he still alive?
That's a good question. I don't know. Kirk Gibson. You know how many times he was an All-Star?
0.
Never. He was never
an All-Star.
So I was like, oh, that's a crazy ass stat. But he was asked twice. He was like selected twice, and he just didn't go.
Lou Whitaker was that same way. I want to say he was selected and didn't go.
Well, that one year he went and he didn't have the right jersey. Like he forgot his jersey. Did you know this?
Yeah.
And they had to get him they had to buy him a cheap jersey, and he wore that. Yeah. Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young.
Wow.
Yeah, like the best quarterback, the best pitcher ever. He's another long guy. Another guy who never got hurt.
Longevity.
And I guess he threw like 200 pitches one game or something like that. Yeah, Nolan Ryan was.
You'll never see anybody throw 200 pitches in a game ever again.
Mm-mm. No, Joe Mauer, the catcher for the Twins. Remember him?
Oh yeah,
Joe Mauer. He's a pretty good hitter. I remember coming out of high school, he was like a stud, and everyone was talking about great.
Well, he was like a top quarterback recruit too.
Was he? Yeah, he was just like a really good athlete. He only struck out once his whole high school baseball career. One time. I'm sure he batted hundreds and hundreds of at bats. He only struck out one time. This guy named Paul Feiner of Elk River did it. And they did like a whole thing where they brought him to the Twins game, and it had a big announcement and everything. Like, this is the guy that struck out Joe Mauer in high school, the only guy. Just like this normal guy. So
That's right. Have you ever seen that Kobe Bryant interview where like there's like a press conference and there's a guy in the crowd as a commentator or a journalist, and he's like, "Hey Kobe, who's the best point guard you ever played with?" And the guy was like played with Kobe in high school, and Kobe's like, I played with this guy, this guy, this guy. He was like, but I'd have to say the best point guard I ever played, and he said his name.
that's awesome.
And the guy didn't think he knew who he was. He was like, but the best point guard I ever had was this guy.
So that's why he asked him to get, because he's probably gonna be like, "What about me?" or whatever. And then Kobe like kind of stole it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was like, he threw some dimes. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a middle-aged dad,
Yeah.
Like,
Poor Kobe. I remember where I was when I heard that about
me
Kobe.
too.
I was in the gym at the Planet Fitness in Howell when it came out. I was like, holy shit. Or no, I think I was with Sarah and her friend. I don't remember. But yeah, I think I might have just saw it on TV because they had all those TVs up. Yeah, that was wild.
I was coaching a basketball game for my son. There's a cat game, and it was during halftime, and the kids went out, did their bathroom break and came back, and they all came back and was like, "Oh my God, Kobe Bryant died!" And man, like I normally don't take celebrity deaths hard. That was a tough one.
It was so out of the blue.
Because he's our age.
Yeah, he's exactly our age, right?
Out of the blue. I mean, you see Kobe everywhere. Yeah. Obviously, the whole, like he looked like he had a whole career. That's just super sad.
Yeah.
A freak accident.
Yeah, when you were talking about how you're coaching basketball, I went to the state finals this year and saw Division One. I saw Catholic Central play, and they have the and you told me about these guys years ago, the Gash brothers.
Yes.
And you said that I remember you mentioned their dad was Sam Gash, who I remembered sort of playing in the NFL a little bit, and then so now that I got to see them finally play, and they're really good. And
and the brother had a really good game, right? In the state championship, Gideon.
Yep, he's a junior. They had him, and then their quarterback. I think his dad played in the NFL too. Duke Banda.
Oh yes,
Have you heard of Duke Banda?
Yes, he's going to be good. He's like only a junior, right? So he has another year.
Oh, that's right.
He has another year to play. And his, I want to say his dad was like a long snapper or something.
Bradford Banda.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the best high school football team I've ever seen by far. Was Catholic Central. They played Cass Tech. I'm so glad I went and saw it. And you could just tell right from the beginning that they were better and they were going to win. I mean, Cass Tech was good, but these guys are insane. It's Catholic Central team. Very good. And then they have two juniors that are like two of their best players. So they're
we're not
out of this world.
But and Gideon Gash will be really good next year. Hopefully Samson goes to Michigan State and whatnot. But it's really cool because you never know. I mean, you see these kids playing and you never know how good they're going to be. These kids obviously have a dad that played in the NFL, so you can imagine, unless like injuries or like drugs or something, they're probably going to be pretty good. But man, they turned out. I mean, 5-star recruit. Yeah, fastest guy in the state.
Was he? Yeah, that's what I was looking up. Yeah, it's just very good. You can just tell he's practiced. He just has the skills, and he has spent a lot of time on the craft and. Is excellent. And yeah, these guys are better now. Every year football gets better and better. Like the kids are just so much better now than they've ever been.
You look at really cool oddities. Just like we're in this Livingston County, pit. And I don't want to say pit. That's not a bad. I'm not trying to say it in a bad way. Right. But like we're in this like area where I mean we've gotten like in the last few years, our high school team has played against Bryce Underwood, who's one of the number one college quarterback recruit in the country. We've played, what's his name? He's at Notre Dame starting.
Carr.
CJ Carr. So we've got, two guys that are going to probably be first round NFL draft picks that we've had at our high school playing. And still to this day, Bryce Underwood throws the fastest ball. He has the most spin on the ball that I've ever seen out of a quarterback in person. Like he was just zipping that ball across the field without any effort.
It's pretty wild.
And then Jackson played against Tommy Carr. His JV year, and Tommy is going to Michigan.
Yeah. Yep. And their grandpa is Lloyd Carr.
Yep.
The former Michigan coach.
And their brother is Chad, the one that had
okay,
passed
that
away.
is their brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he older than them or younger?
I want to say he was older. Yeah.
Okay. I remember the Chad Tough stuff. So yeah, I'm just looking at the Howell. Because I was trying to remember. So this year they beat Kalamazoo Central and they lost to East Kentwood. Last year they beat Kalamazoo Central in Brighton. They beat Kalamazoo and Brighton, and then they lost to Hudson. They got destroyed by Hudsonville, who they beat earlier that year. And I went to that game. They won 20-17 in the very first game of the year in 24, and then they lost to them the last game of the year, 35-6. God, both of them are home. I went to both of them. I was shocked. I couldn't believe how much better, or what? Yeah, I mean, how much better
they got.
Hudsonville got. All that ice cream they're eating.
That's what I think of every single time I see Hudsonville. That is really funny. It is really funny.
It's a softball. Easy one.
But here's the other one. When coaching in that the big league conference, which was usually I think it was based in Novi, but we usually played at South Lyon High School. Darius Slay's son played.
Really?
And so Darius Slay would always be sitting in the stands. That's before he got traded or before he left the Lions. I think he got traded. But the kids would go nuts. Like they'd see him and he'd like sign autographs and stuff like that. So it's just cool. You know, we're in this like little area, but there's a lot of connections to pro athletes or some really good athletes.
Yeah, a lot of them live in that like Northville area, I think.
Yeah, that would make sense. For sure.
And then, so we go down in there and they're in our league. Oh, how about this? Here's another Tony Gwynn. I love Tony Gwynn stats. If Pete Rose, at the end of his career, went 750 for 750, went up 750 times and got 750 hits, he'd still have a lower career batting average than Tony Gwynn. That's hard to believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hank Aaron was an all-star 21 straight years.
So
wow.
Who was?
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron.
21 straight.
Again, you talk about consistency between him and Mays. And like Hank Aaron, like really wasn't like Mark McGuire or Barry Bonds hitting home runs, but had the most career home runs.
He had a very high floor and he was always like hit between 30 and 45 home runs every year.
Yeah.
So always like right in there. Somewhere in there. Yep.
So in a game, I can't see what year this was, but a guy named Cal Boulder for the Atlanta Hawks once committed 7 fouls in an NBA game because the scorekeeper just simply forgot to tell the officials that he fouled out of the game.
Really? That's awesome. I love that. That may be my favorite one. How did I did
The scorekeeper simply forgot to alert the officials that he fouled out of the game, and he remained in the game until committing another foul, which was believed to be a 6th, but it was later revealed that it was a 7th foul. He was the only player in shot clock history era to record 7 fouls.
How do you Cal what?
Cal Bowdler.
I remember this name for some reason. Oh, he's a younger guy. Yeah, he's like our age. That's a
Is
good
he really?
one. He was born in 77.
Oh, wow. So that didn't happen that long ago. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is a good one. Especially nowadays.
Really
like you would think that would happen like back in the day when, people didn't really keep track that close, but
here's a good one too. Richard Hamilton once dropped 14 points without scoring a single field goal.
Just all free throws?
He was 0 for 10 from the field. And he still managed to score 14 points.
Because
he was 14 for 14 from the line.
That's another
0 for 10 from the field and 14 for 14 from the line. That's insane.
That is. Wow. That's a good one, too. Kind of jealous you got that one.
Oh, here's a good one, too. I did not look up Piston stuff, and this probably didn't even happen. It was from when he was with the Spurs. Dennis Rodman once had a 28 rebound and 0-point game.
Yeah, I think I read that one. That's a good one. How about this? The Fielders, Prince Fielder.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they have some crazy oddities.
Yeah.
They finished their career with the same average, the same amount of home runs, right?
It's even more than that. They have the same amount of home runs. They have the same amount of home runs with 2 outs. They have the same amount of 4th inning home runs, the same amount of 5th inning home runs, the same amount of 9th inning home runs. They have the same home runs with less than 2 outs.
Wow.
Yeah, the very similar careers. I don't know. To me, Cecil was better. Maybe it was just better when he was with the Tigers. He was just more of a bigger deal because he hit 50 home runs. Then he came back with 51, I think, the next year.
Yep.
Cecil was the man.
Cecil was the man. I think we have some nostalgia
because he was young.
when we were kids, and their team sucked until he came on, and then we had a solid little team. I loved Mickey Tettleton. He was my guy. I love that batting
Everybody
stance. I
liked him,
remember being a kid, always mocking it.
Yep. Tettleton was good. Then they had all those home run guys. There's one year they had Rob Deere, Pete Incaviglia, Rob Deere. And it was only lasted about a year, and those guys struck out a ton.
I was going to say Incaviglia and
Deere.
Oh my God, Rob Deere hit 205, but he had 30 home runs or something. It was bad.
He was not anything like a deer. Like you think of a deer as being fast. He was like the complete opposite. Frank Howard, who was an old, I think he was a Hall of Fame player for the Washington Senators. Big 6'8" guy. Nobody was anywhere near that big back in the day. And him and Ryan Howard, who's a newer, he played for the Phillies, baseball player in the 2000s. They both have 382 home runs. And they're both named Howard. I don't know. I like that one.
They're both named Howard.
Ryan Howard and Frank Howard, same amount of home runs.
Not related.
Sure. Not at all. How about Jamie Moyer? Remember old Jamie Moyer?
Oh, Jamie Moyer.
He pitched till he was 70. He faced 9% of all major league. If you take all the Major League Baseball players that have ever lived, he pitched against 9% of them. Even though the big leagues had been around for 100 years before he even started.
Wow.
And he still pitched. I think a lot of that is because there's a lot more players now, because back in the day, there's only 8 teams.
Yeah.
So there's a lot less players. So there's a lot more players later when he was around than when way before, but still.
What's that? Goes back to that 6 degrees of separation. He literally spanned the.
He was around
all
for
the pitchers.
27, 28 years he pitched. He pitched until he was in his late 49 or something like that he pitched.
Well, and it's kind of like how LeBron is now. You look at LeBron played against guys from the 90s, and then now that's a big span.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I have a great stat. Jaromir Jagr, the hockey player, he has been a teammate with someone who played in the Stanley Cup. Every single Stanley Cup for the last 46 years. So starting in 1980, there's some guy that played in the Stanley Cup finals. Somebody on those roster played with Jaromir Jagr, and like that every single year up until now.
That's crazy.
Because he just played with a bunch of different players, and I guess one of them was he played with them on an Olympic team or something like that. But other than that, the rest of them were his teammates in the NHL. Yeah, I like that stat.
I'm trying to find this one. Have you seen this one? There's a guy I can't think of what the name is, but there's literally for the last 5 World Series teams, there's been a guy with the name that's been on the team. Man,
like a last name?
It's the same name. Same.
Was it like a normalish kind of name? Like a last name was the same?
Yeah, it's pretty common. Guy's name.
That played in the Super Bowl or what?
World Series.
Oh. Let's see. I don't know. Also, I got another
And
forwards. Yeah. Some of these are kind of too complicated to explain. Here's a good one. Joe Sewell. Joe Sewell was a pretty good player back in the actually a very good player in the 1930s and 1920s. In 1932, he played for the New York Yankees. He struck out 3 times out of 576 plate appearances.
Oh my God. Wow.
How's it even possible? How? Even the pitchers weren't as good, all that stuff. With everything into consideration, how could you only strike out 3 times?
That's crazy. That's crazy. So obviously very popular name. The guy's name that I'm looking for, his name's Will Smith. And there's 2 of them. There's a Will Smith, the pitcher, and there's Will Smith, the catcher. And so Will Smith, the pitcher, won the World Series in 2021 with the Braves. He won it in 2022 with the Astros, and he won it in 2023 with the Texas Rangers. And then the catchers won it with the Dodgers in 2020, 2024, and 2025. So it's every year since 2020, Will Smith has won the World Series.
That is a good one. That is excellent. I like that.
There's a random stat I just saw here. There was one game recently where the Kansas City Chiefs had 30 first downs in the game, and their opponent only had 3.
Wow. That in the NFL only getting 3 first downs?
3 first downs in a game is rough.
Yeah, that'd be a blowout big time.
Especially when they got 30. Yeah, 30 first downs versus 3.
Yeah. Absolutely. How about for Ozzie Smith?
Yeah.
And Eddie Murray. Remember Eddie Murray? Orioles first base. They played on the same high school team together. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
2 Hall of Fame guys on the same high school team. Yeah. That's one thing I like is looking up who played where in high school, are there any what was the best high school team ever if you take into consideration the success of the players on the team later in life? Of course they wouldn't be the best, but it takes more than just talent or future success to be good at anything. But
you see the talent that was on that team.
Yeah. That was definitely cultivated into something really, really awesome. So just stuff like that's interesting to me.
Man, this is fun. It's fun to finding this random stuff.
That's what I like to do. So, all right. Good one, Jason. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
All right.
All right.